Just take a nice breath in. Exhale that breath. Just allow yourself now to relax more and more. Because from this moment in time, there's nothing of importance for you to do except relax. Relax.
Hey humans, welcome to Scarlett Letter Show. I am your homie, Scarlett Santa Maria, keeping you up to date with San Diego's electronic music scene. As you already know, I will share my opinion before presenting my guest, and tonight, I will focus on drugs in the party scene. These mind-altering substances have been present in music spaces like concerts, clubs, raves, and festivals for a very long time. In the swinging 60s, LSD was the most popular of its time. In the disco 70s, the use of cannabis had its peak. In the rock and roll 80s, cocaine was cheap and glamorized by celebrities. In the electronic 90s, MDMA was present in most of the underground events. Today, we're seeing a rise of ketamine, prescription drugs, among others. And of course, alcohol has been widely abused through the decades. Even today, even though it's not classified as a quote-unquote hard drug. My point for bringing this up is that drugs are never going away, and so are the risk of using them. For this reason, there needs to be a change in the way we think and talk about drugs, and adopt a non-judgmental approach to decrease risk. First, we have to accept the fact that some people will choose to take these drugs. Like, it's going to happen, right? So, we have to shift the focus from abstinence to harm reduction by increasing education about drug use and to stop demonizing people that take them. Second, if you are a current user, it's time to do some self-reflection. Do you think you could enjoy going out without taking anything? Are you simply being experimental, or are you actually trying to shut down some pain? What purpose do they serve in your life? It's time to be honest with yourself and discover your real motives for substance abuse. I know it's scary to be vulnerable and face your problems, but you have to remember to show yourself some self-love and compassion. Take care of your well-being and make good choices for yourself. It's never too late to make a positive change in your life. And I honestly could keep going on about this subject, but I don't have much time. And look, guys, I'm not here to lecture you, but to increase awareness about topics that are hard to talk about. We all have different perspectives, and we're not all going to agree on the same thing, of course, but the least we can do is learn to live with our differences and help each other out, especially in our community. So, back to the moment you've all been waiting for. Tonight, for episode 7, I have the one and only Kinohou. Kinohou. Did I say it right?
Very good.
Perfect. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So how are you doing tonight? Anything that you want to add to what I just said?
I just want to say it's a little heavy, but that was a great PSA. A lot of people need to hear it, I believe, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. So what genres do you DJ?
I play deep house. I play tech house. Deep tech is what people like to call it. Minimal house, techno, and acid house.
All right. A little bit of everything. I like that.
A little bit of everything, yes.
How long have you been DJing for?
Since 2012, when I actually started my own radio show, just like this.
Hey.
Yep. That was in University of Hawaii at Hilo, and I started out playing trip hop and down tempo like type of music. I think it was Massive Attack who actually turned me on. I don't know if you know Massive Attack or Portishead. Back in the early 90s, they started this movement of trip hop. It's trippy type of hip-hop.
Yeah, I love trip hop. Mm-hmm. I just don't know the artist, but I have the station on Pandora whenever I want to chill.
They're actually coming to San Diego on September, and you really need to look that up, actually. They're supposed to be here, I believe it was April. Yes, actually, right after it was going to be here in a week.
April 2nd, my friends are here.
They're all about them. But then they had to cancel due to health issues, unfortunately, which is big health issues because they're canceling their entire tour. I wish the best for them. But they're going to make their return back in September, and I'm definitely going to make that.
All right. Well, that's nice to hear. I think I will definitely check them out.
Excuse me, I'm gonna be in Costa Rica. I know I'm not. Can I make that?
Oh, okay.
I gotta sell my tickets. If anybody's looking for tickets to Massive Attack, my bad.
All right. Use this platform to sell tickets.
There you
No big
go.
deal.
Yeah.
So
Massive Attack.
I was checking your SoundCloud and I didn't see much action. Can we expect any mixes or originals from you soon?
I have tons of mixes on SoundCloud. Just sometimes you have to pay for your $18 a month subscription.
Yeah. That's why I
And that-
moved to YouTube instead of SoundCloud.
Yeah, exactly, and that can be a pain. So it only lists like the top 2, but I actually have over a dozen mixes on SoundCloud.
So where did the name originated from?
My mother gave it to me. It's my actual middle name, Kinohou.
Oh, all right.
It means new life in Hawaiian, and it has a lot of significance to my life.
So what does it mean to you?
Well, the origins is I started, I was named after a famous Hawaiian song composer, who was a good friend of my mom's. My mother has been a famous singer, actually, since she was about 16.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Most beautiful voice I've ever heard.
What's her name?
Betsy Curtis.
All right, we gotta look her up.
Yeah, beautiful. I'll send you a Christmas album.
Perfect.
Yeah, she's got lots of them. Anyway, they used to do work together, and he actually happened to die in a fateful car crash.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's horrible. And so his wife and my mom met in his widow, met in the grocery store one day, and she humbly asked to name me after him. My mom was pregnant with me at the time, and she accepted that as my middle name. Also, at the very same time, there was a street in the Big Island that was just being built. It's just a neighborhood, and they named that street after the same guy, Kinohou Street. And consequentially,
yeah, because I looked it up and I saw that it was I think it was a street or something in Hawaii.
Oh, you really looked it up?
Yeah, actually, I
That's
looked it
something.
up.
Anyway, my mother moved to that street when I was 7 years old, and I was raised on that street for probably 15 years of my life.
Wow.
I lived on Kinohou Street for a very long time.
So beautiful. It was like full circle.
Full circle, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
it means everything to me.
thanks for sharing your story about your name. What can we expect in the first half of the mix?
Beautiful deep house music, deep tech. It's a lot of beach vibes because I've been
Perfect.
asked to go to Hawaii in a week to perform for.
All right, we'll get back to that in just a little bit. I'm going to ask you about that.
I'm excited about it, of course.
Yeah,
You can
I
tell.
definitely want to hear all about it.
Yeah.
And I think we're ready to get this party started, people.
do.
We're about to turn it up. And before we go, you're listening to KCR College Radio, the award-winning sound of state. Make sure to watch the live stream on my Facebook page at Scarlett Show. We'll be having a longer interview in 10 minutes, so stay tuned. What is up, everyone? We are back. I know you missed us, but I was feeling fantastic with that set. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
You killed it. But
Just getting started.
yeah, yep, you already know. We're back, people. You already know the drill. I gotta make some announcements before we continue. The same one since day one. And North Park's Observatory is an amazing venue that you can win tickets to. Make sure to check out all our giveaways on kcrlive.com. And make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and YouTube at KCR College Radio for weekly events, news, sports, updates, as well as the latest giveaway opportunities. Yeah.
The observatory has my endorsement as well, that's for sure.
All right. Big shout out to Observatory. Definitely. Oh, yeah. And last shout out to Monica from KCR team, who wrote a really nice piece about me on the Behind the Mic interview series. If you want to know my story and how I found my place in the electronic music scene, you should check it out. It's on kcr.sdsu.edu on the blog section. And I also have the link on the show's Facebook page and Instagram. By the way, thanks for sharing.
Of course.
All right. We're back with Kinohou. Man, so you're from Hawaii.
Yes,
That's
born and raised.
awesome. Why did you move to San Diego?
For around these purposes, for better opportunities. That had more to do with DJing than anything else, really. Um, I started throwing parties in Hawaii, kind of out of my grass shack that I used to live in. They got pretty wild and everything like that, but
Oh yeah, how's the party scene over there?
it's they're not too aware, I suppose, of say like the music that we are listening to today. I think they have different styles, or maybe there's a few years in the past.
So they don't have like a techno underground scene?
No, no.
Okay.
They prefer actually dubstep and that sort of stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually playing Moombahton back then to get the party started. That's kind of in between. That has a Caribbean feel to it. If you guys are familiar with like Major Lazer,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Diplo and that sort of stuff, I was playing Moombahton at the time. So I decided to get here, and there's such a cultured music scene over here.
Yeah,
and so
definitely.
much talent, so much inspiration, and a lot of ways to plug yourself into the scene. So
And
I made a good choice.
What are some of the major differences between here and San Diego? Like some highlights?
So here in Hawaii,
Yeah.
well, there's a lot to do. That's one thing. There's always something going on every
Oh
night.
yeah. Even on a Tuesday, even on a Wednesday,
Yeah, Techno Tuesdays, right?
house music Wednesdays.
Yeah, and the list goes on. So yeah, a lot more to do. Tell you the truth, I'm able to connect with people a little bit better than I did in Hawaii. I was definitely considered an outsider.
Same, man.
Same, right? Yeah, that's how I like to keep it. Honestly, then I didn't feel like I wanted to fit in really with anything. I just wanted to do my own thing. Over here, there's just a lot of things that love to get involved with. A lot of people, a lot of clubs, a lot of people like to collab with.
That's great.
Yeah, so it encouraged me to, as an outsider, to get more involved with what's going on around here.
That's awesome. I feel you because that's how I found my place here in the electronic music scene.
Right?
So I definitely agree.
Yeah,
So
they're,
why do you
they're very accepting.
definitely? So why did you choose to become a DJ? Was there a defining moment in your life that influenced you?
Yeah, just back when I started the radio show, I've always been the guy that would collect music, that would put it on a CD, give it out to my friends. I'd always be that guy. And so I just wanted to have something to do, honestly, when I was in the island. And they're offering positions at the local radio station. I was just getting involved with all types of new type of music, like trip hop and down tempo and that sort of stuff at the time, even just getting the dubstep. And I was fortunate enough that they had DJ equipment there. They had these little Vestaxes, VCI 300s, controllers you plug into your computer, and that was a ticket for me because that allowed me to learn how to do it without having to spend the money to get one.
Yeah, it was just like hands-on experience.
Yeah, it was
at work.
perfect. Yeah. A lot of people they want to learn, but they don't
have the
They don't have the
resources.
equipment at the time, or they don't want to spend the money because they don't know what they can do with it at the
Yeah.
time. So it was a blessing for me to get
Yeah,
the
you were-
opportunity to work with something that was available to me.
Yeah, you were very fortunate. That's great.
Very fortunate indeed.
So where do you get your inspiration to create music and mixes?
It's just whatever I find on Beatport. I love that website, Beatport. It's just an endless galaxy, basically. And I
You
love
can
this-
go down the rabbit hole and just keep digging and digging and finding new music.
Yeah, you can go down a very deep rabbit hole there. I really enjoy Beatport. It's definitely my heaven. In terms of making music, my friends inspire me to do so. And I have a couple of dates lined up to make some music.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Starting with
What do you have in mind?
this Saturday, I'm going to be joining Terry Jacinto, who's a fantastic deep house producer, as well as other forms, mostly deep house. He's got a very distinct style, which is very important to me.
Yeah, you gotta have your own sound, like
yeah,
your
your
own
own
thing,
sound,
for
yeah,
sure.
something,
that makes you stand out.
Exactly, something that's identifiable, so where somebody can hear your music and guess that is you without even knowing that is you.
I agree.
Amongst more than anything, I think a DJ and a producer should find their own sound, and that would help promoters come to mind whenever they're thinking about
They will be able to
booking somebody.
identify you easier.
Yeah, yeah, or remember you just, because they have that sound stuck in their head still.
Would you say are you still crafting your sound, or do you have something already?
I'd say I have a pretty good idea of what I'm looking for. There is a range of all the genres that I mentioned before, but the deep tech sound is beautiful. It's rising quite a bit. I know it's been around for a while, but it's a lot of people are tacking on to it.
Yeah, it's kind of like it comes in waves, trance used to be big before, then like electro house and big room, and I feel like it just comes in waves. Like,
right.
It'll be big event again eventually. I feel like.
But for true fans, it sticks with them. And deep house, deep tech is something that's really cool. I think a lot of the best deep tech right now is coming out right now.
That's pretty great.
It's progressing into more better and better music, rather than some other type of genres that had their heyday, I suppose, and maybe are
like what, for example?
Like trance. And I don't want. I don't want to bash any other genres.
That's totally fine. I mean, you're just expressing your opinion. I love trance. I love psytrance. I actually love all types of genres. I'm pretty open,
Yeah. I got introduced to psytrance when I went to a FMG party. Honestly, you actually can't mention the full name. But it's very famous. It has to do with the moon.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, it's you go out to the deserts, and it's the best renegade in all of California.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Right, FMG. You can spell it out. You can figure out what it means. I went there and I discovered psytrance music, and it tripped me out. I was with Hector Mendoza. If you're listening right now, he's a good friend of mine that I used to do shows with called Pleasure.
Yeah, I went to the rooftops in last summer.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Yeah, I remember.
And it really transformed me. Not necessarily the psytrance, but the party in general.
Okay.
It was quite the experience.
The experience? That's great.
Yeah. There's interesting people there.
Fantastic. So can you tell me about a gig that has made the biggest impact in your life and why?
Oh, well, I do have a feeling that this next week will be that, because it's so far away and it's my home place.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah. Other than that, it kind of gets lost in the haze of all of the shows I've done, so I can't really say what's the most significant. But this weekend, this next weekend is coming up. I'll be flying back to my home state, Hawaii. I'll be going to the island of Maui. I haven't been there over in a decade, but I happen to have over a dozen relatives there. I'll be visiting them as well. But I've been asked graciously by Ben Anand to play for him, and I'm on the bill to play for his yearly event. It's called Tropical Oasis Retreat in Maui.
Sounds awesome.
It's gonna be right on the beach.
I've never been to Hawaii, but it sounds like a dream.
Yeah,
music festival in Hawaii. Yes, sign me up.
Yeah, they don't happen that often. There's these.
You're gonna be part of it.
Yeah, I'm so thrilled. I was there last year. I tried to integrate myself and be of help as much as I can with him. I wasn't on the bill, but I did stay for the after parties, and he let me play for that. Since then, I've been playing for a bit of his shows, actually. I opened for Doc Martin last year.
At Mindfruit, right?
At Mindfruit. That could actually...
I saw you there, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That would be one of the top parties that was...
that was a lot of fun.
Most inspirational to me, just to get to play with, for all those heavyweights. Doc Martin, Mark Quark, Ben Anand, even John Pabulum. Those guys are all legends, and it was just such a privilege for me to open it up for them. So that definitely
was a really fun event for sure.
Yeah, that was the one, I'd say so.
So can you tell me about your affiliation with Native Alien? I see in your profile that you're a resident DJ.
Yeah, I've been doing things with them a while. I mostly play for their Contact series, which is a whole lot of fun. I could say actually. That's another one that's incredibly inspirational to me. Contact is held at Miracle Springs Resort in Palm Springs, and we ran out the whole hotel, maybe a good portion of it, and they have beautiful pools, and we spend the whole weekend there and just decompress, relax.
It's definitely a summer party.
Yeah. Book some of the best DJs in the scene
yep.
to go up there. We brought
Summer's
Ben
coming
Anand.
up. Woo.
Yeah, it's always been a fantastic time playing for them, and I really appreciate everything that they've done to lift
Yeah,
me up
shout
in the
out to
scene.
Tom and Sonia.
Yeah, Alien
They
Tom
rock.
and Red Sonja, they're doing good things. They got a show coming up, a big one actually on April 21st. That is with the legendary Matt Cesari. I think Dirty Socks is on the label. Um, Christian Barbuto, I think his name. Yeah, Christian Barbuto. Those guys are huge, and they have them all in the bill.
Yeah, definitely. We gotta check it out. Anyways,
Yeah, go ahead.
can you tell me about some of the challenges you've faced in your career so far?
Yes, staying active, staying relevant, not getting lost in the scheme of things. Some people have long hiatuses of music. I did actually for a while last year, and you got to stay relevant. You got to stay just within the public eye.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. You
and
gotta be around and for people to get to know you and remember you.
yeah, and remember you absolutely because there's so many new DJs that are coming on the scene, new producers, and new events and
You
stuff
gotta
like
make
that.
yourself present. in the
Yeah, yeah, you
scene.
got to keep up with these newbies,
Yep.
because I would say newbies, but guys that are now just getting recognized. They have a ton of energy and they have a lot of hope for themselves in the future, and so they can be very exciting. And so you have to keep up with them.
And speaking of that, what advice would you give an upcoming DJ or producer?
I'd say to get more involved than just DJing. Get involved with making shows, making music. Um, People don't just accept you just DJing, honestly, especially nowadays. I'm lucky enough that I have gained good um,
Credibility?
credibility as well as connections.
Connections.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
I established myself, a few years ago, and some even call me a veteran nowadays, which is crazy. 'Cause I just feel like I just started. But
That's good.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. But if you start nowadays, you kind of get there's a much bigger pool of people to not necessarily compete with, but to also collaborate with. You just have to stand out much more nowadays.
Yeah.
So you have to go above and beyond.
All right. And what are some positive aspects of San Diego's electronic music scene?
Oh man, the dedication that everyone has towards it. The people that come out, the fans, the dedicated fans, not just dedicated DJs and producers, but the fans that come out, the attendees. They just everyone is just absolutely in love with the music. That's what they come out for. They come out to also see their friends. It's wholesome.
Yeah, there's a whole community.
Yeah, yeah. We call it a community. It's not a scene because people aren't like flashy or doing the flashy scene thing. They come out.
It's not like downtown,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. They're for the music and they're for the camaraderie and for everyone else that's there. And there's so much love and light going on.
That's so true. I
yeah.
agree. That's why I'm doing this show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I want to give back to my community that has been so accepting and loving of me.
I commend you for that.
I agree.
do.
And do you think there are any negatives or anything that needs improvement?
Let me see. Perhaps, yeah. I think the collectives of groups and parties that happen. I think a lot of them need to work more together instead of separating themselves to doing their own things. I think if we have a little more unity within the dance music community, then we would find bigger events. It would lift people up more instead of just basically more collaboration rather than competition.
Yes, I agree.
I think that would be the main point.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you mentioned that because that's one of the main points that have been highlighted by many of my guests. The fact that there needs to be more collaboration and unity in all the collectives, because we're kind of all in this together.
Right, right. And I do have connections that I've made earlier in the past and that I have not kept up with. And I just want to say and put that on the airways that I apologize for anybody that I haven't kept up with.
Hey, you know what? Life gets in the way.
Life gets in the way.
And I think
that's-
that people should be able to be understanding of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. That's a very important point I want to make. because I'm busy in many other factors.
Me too, man.
Yeah, and
People always trying to hang out, and I'm like, I'm busy, I'm working, and
yeah, exactly.
it's life.
As much as I want to, and I really do. Yeah,
We're grinding. We're grinding.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to mention that to all of my friends.
Yeah, same here. Now I'll piggyback on that because I feel like I've been not around, but I'm doing a lot of stuff, people.
Yeah, I hear you work on the weekends, and so yeah, that can be tough too. I purposely don't find jobs on the weekends just because I want to spend it with my fiance and have a good time with my friends and that sort of thing, and focus on work.
I
on the
agree.
week.
Lastly, do you like pineapple on pizza?
Ooh. I will not turn it down. I will not order it, but I will not turn it down.
Oh,
maybe a little sriracha on there. I love sriracha on my pizzas, and as well as ranch dipping.
All right, there you go. Well, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And now I'm thinking about pizza, and I might just go and get my pizza after the show with pineapple because I'm not basic.
Go for it.
And it's time to hear the second part of the mix. We'll see you in 10 minutes to wrap up the interview, so don't go anywhere. Feeling super tropical vibes. I feel like I need to be in a beach right now with a pina colada and like hot pink glasses.
Or two.
Yep, for sure. All right, man.
Can't wait.
I got a couple more questions for you.
That's fine.
That's fine. Give them to me now. Do you remember an event that you totally bombed?
Yeah. Good question. Yeah, I remember. Sorry, Thomas, showing it. Tease for techno. Let me see. They did their twos. You know, I call them the terrible twos. No. Yeah, who's doing two, right? So it's like they would get random people to go up there and do 2 or 3 tracks in between, scheduled artists. And I just remember, the guy before me maybe had a formatted music that you couldn't really read any of the information on it or something like that, or it was kind of moving all over the place, or I think it was just illegally downloaded, so it actually didn't really have a grid, or like
it'd be like that.
It would just go in from one BPM to the other on its own.
Oh,
which is really bad. So I just had to work with that, and I remember it just sounding just ratchet, awful. The transition between his and mine, and of course, when I do that transition, then that people look at me rather than the guy before me.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah,
and you're like, it wasn't me.
And it was right before Alex Rubio, which is an incredible deep tech artist, and so he wrote me off his book after that one.
Man, well, now you know, people, it wasn't his fault.
Yeah, and I don't do that. I don't screw up like that, except for for going off the cuff with some other guy who just legally downloaded a track.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing. So what does the future hold for Kinohou?
More productions. Sometime this year I'd like to start my own show. I can't give you the details
Not yet.
on what it
It's
is.
secret.
People might call me. I actually blurred out a few times at parties to people that I confide in and trust in.
You can trust me and everyone hearing this.
No. I might trust you, but not necessarily everyone. But yeah, I got the whole ideas laid out, and it's just I'm waiting for that right time to strike. And I have an arsenal of guys that want to do it with me who are fantastic. Definitely want to work with Terry Jacinto, John Pablin with Mindfruit. He's doing some awesome things, and he has so much experience. Ever since the late 90s, he's been integral in the scene.
Right.
He's been fortunate enough to want to work with me as well.
I've
been fortunate enough to want to work with him.
Well, good luck. I hope that it happens and you're successful, and maybe I will even do an event coverage in the future. You never know.
Yeah, I'll be hitting you up for that. Absolutely. Yeah, you'd be great for that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and for being my guest. And any last shout outs before we go?
To my lovely fiance Adela. Just just want to say I love you and thank you for listening in. Everyone knows I'm a lover boy. Can't wait
Yeah, you're recently engaged. Congratulations.
Thank you. Very much looking forward to our romantic getaway in Hawaii. I think her and I both really need that. I'm really looking forward to that. We can really use it, you know.
Yeah, we all need that.
Yeah, everyone could
I
use
need a
a trip to
romantic
Hawaii.
getaway with myself. That's what I need.
Yeah, everyone can use it, honestly. So we're just going to take it.
Take it. All right. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. As you already know, I will be uploading the full show and the interview on my YouTube at Scarlett Letter Show. Have a awesome... I was going to say a bad word. Whew. Okay, that was close. Have an amazing night. Thursday night, party it up. You know, I'll be at Rich's. Come say hi. I'll be wearing a unicorn onesie. And
Nice.
bring your dollars to tip me.
Aloha.
Aloha. Bye.